2026 is going to be a huge year for Marvel, and as a big fan of Marvel, of the comic books, the movies, I had to have the Marvel logo. This is set number 76313 containing 931 pieces. This is the Marvel logo and was released in 2025. This set contains 5 minifigures, but one is obviously missing.
The back of the box shows another view of the Marvel logo and a closer look at those minifigures.
This set may just look like a big red box, but inside this set there are some hidden surprises, play features, Easter eggs that I'm going to share the secrets of with you today. Welcome into Old Mountain Bricks, everybody. We're going to do a quick time lapse of the build. I'll give you my thoughts on the build process and all the hidden things inside, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the set overall. Let's go ahead and get started.
Cutting open the box, inside you will find 11 number plastic bags and the instruction manual. I was worried when I started building this set that it would be too boring and too repetitive because, again, it's just kind of a red rectangle, but the insides did make it more challenging and fun to build. You use a lot of different Technic pieces in order to kind of have some functionality, which I'll show you in just a bit, but then just kind of switching up just how they build some of the different sections in order, again, to make it more interesting, I thought was a lot of fun. I also enjoy how they kind of color code the inside, so when you spin it around, it's easy to follow there, so you don't end up putting things in the wrong place, which is really easy to do when you have a lot of the same color. So these folks definitely thought ahead and thought of the build experience, which I of course think is a very important part of any LEGO review, as this is a building block product, so it's important to kind of go over that instead of only the final product. So when you're actually building this, you kind of switch back and forth between some of like the details of the inside with the Technic and then some of like the walls, if you will. You then kind of get started with some of the last minute parts there of putting the actual word Marvel on it, which I thought was fun. So that used a lot of different techniques as far as making the nice shapeage of the letters and more interesting ways than I thought it was going to be and how they attach. Like some had clips built in, others just used studs, and other versions in order to kind of get that word Marvel to really pop. But let's go ahead and finish this thing up and take a look at it.
And here is the Marvel logo. So, at first glance, this might not look like much, but this was a quite enjoyable build. It is the classic Marvel Studios logo kind of that you see from the MCU. It's basically a nice little red box with the word Marvel on it. The letters themselves are elevated, so they are in front of like the red box, if that makes sense. So you can see in there, use some interesting techniques in order to kind of have everything line up correctly. It also has some studs showing on it. There's a lot on the A, which makes it stand out, I think, a little much for me. But the rest of them all look pretty good. I, of course, also have the 2x4 brick over there to kind of show you the scale a little bit as well. But as we rotate it around, you can see it's got some nice smooth finishes on this side. On the back, there is a hidden feature we'll get to in just a second. And then the other side, kind of same thing, just some basic red. But there is more to this set than meets the eye, and no, I'm not talking Transformers, but there's a cool play feature and function in this set. Alright, so on top of this set, there are 2 buttons right over here. You can kind of see it's like the 2x2 plate. What you do in order to activate the function, you just take your finger and then push the button like this. Oh, and they pop out. You see the pieces go flying when you do that. So let's do it on the other side here as well. So you just press this button. And like that, except, you know, sometimes the pieces get stuck on the other side. So the characters pop out, but we're missing one. So that's what this little feature on the back is. It's not as exciting as the other ones there. You just kind of take it and push it. So here comes Iron Man. And we'll of course take a closer look at those minifigures in just a second. But here's what it looks like with the minifigures all kind of popping out on it. So you can display it kind of either way with like the minifigures kind of poking out, or you can kind of condense it in by putting them back in and displaying it just as the Marvel logo like at the beginning. And in order to do that, all you do is just kind of push them down. They both
kind of fall in there. I find I have a little trouble with Thor's cape. Sometimes likes to get a little stuck in there. So you just kind of push that in. Iron Man, say goodnight. Sun's getting real low, big guy. You just kind of push them all in. Just like that. Then you just take the plates. They're only held on top with just 2 studs. So they just kind of go on like that. So you just put both of those on there. For the side panels, it uses like the big wall panel there and just a little bit of friction with this pin. It doesn't actually connect, but you just kind of slide it in like that and it just kind of slots into place. Same with this side as well. And there you go. Then it's all back together again. Let's do that function one more time. So you just get in here and press the button. I find that you really got to push it hard and quickly, otherwise it just kind of comes out slowly, which is not nearly as exciting. So you got to get in there and push. Yeah, like that. And then you do the same thing over here. And then you have them kind of poking out there. So a lot of the build inside here was neat to see. You can see it has some like Technic axles and such. And basically it's just kind of a friction thing. As you push down on the top, the axles just kind of make their way outside and kind of push things up. I kind of wish the same thing would happen with like the middle one with Iron Man. It just seems kind of silly to not do that, but you know, it gets the job done. So I'm not complaining too much, but I feel like I would have wanted like another 3rd button or something in order to kind of trigger Iron Man to pop up as well. Because, I mean, you can push it like quickly, but it's not really going to do the same effect as the other 4 Avengers here. Alright, so now a quick look at those minifigures. There are some nice ones in this set. This set comes with 5 of the main Avengers. We have Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America. And I think all of them overall look pretty good. You can definitely do a lot of fun play scenes with this here if you wanted to take them off the Marvel logo, especially if you get this for like kids or something. The minifigures themselves offer enough play features, I think. First up is the Hulk, and it's not often we get a minifigure Hulk as opposed to like the big fig Hulk we've gotten a number of times now. So you can see him side by side here, so it's definitely a sizable difference. And in this particular set, I think I'm okay with the minifigure one, as we just don't get him very often. And I think he looks pretty good. Has some nice printing on that torso there. Has like the black hair. He has like the angry face on one side, and then on the other side, just kind of your average smirk. But I think it's a good enough minifigure. I don't think you really need printing on the legs here. It'd be cool to have dual molded legs, I think, at minimum, to have kind of that green, because he's obviously not wearing shoes or anything. So maybe that'd be the next thing to upgrade this kind of minifigure. But overall, I really like this one. Next up, we've got Thor. He's got his hammer. He's got like the classic cape with like the one whole fabric piece. No printing on the legs or anything. He does have the lightning eyes. He does kind of feature like the sandy brown hair. I know Thor goes through a number of transitions here in some of like the Lego sets. On the other side, he's just kind of got his goofy smile with the beard as well. But I kind of like the lightning eyes on this one, as it's more unique that you don't get very often in other minifigures. But I think this one's just fine. And you know we always have to have an Iron Man minifigure, so this one's nothing too special here. This is the Iron Man Mark VI armor with like the triangle on it, and I think it looks overall okay. I love that Iron Man always gets some nice leg printing. No arm printing in this particular case, but I think he looks pretty good. Under here you've got the standard Tony Stark face we've had for a while with like the blue screen on it, and then just kind of his smug face on the other side. This is the type of helmet where the mask can also lift up like that. So overall, pretty good minifigure. I'm glad they at least gave him some nice leg printing with like the shiny gold there. Next up, we've got a Black Widow. Has a nice little pistol over here, and she has like her nice belt buckle there with like the Black Widow logo. And this is also like the standard legs we get a number of times now. I call the belt legs because there's like belts right below their knees. But I'm glad they at least included something here. They could have just made the legs black like they did on Thor, but I think this one looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy on here. Kind of your standard red hair for her. The back face shows like the angry face for her. Next up, we've got Captain America sporting like his Captain America movie costume there, which I think he also uses at one point. You can tell because it's got like that strap going across it there, and it's one of the more unique torsos that I really enjoy from Captain America. Kind of has like the gray arms. I keep hoping they're going to give him like red boots one day to just take it to the next level, but this is one of my favorite Captain America torsos. Of course, you have the classic helmet we've been getting for a while. You've got like his goofy smile on the back, and then the one with like the chin strap on the other side. He does not come with like a hairpiece on this one, so it's helmet only for this version of Captain America. It also comes with like the standard shield, not like the one you get in like the CMFs in the past, which have the better detail. So still a little disappointed there because the blues don't really match. But overall, a decent Captain America just because of that nice torso print. Let's go ahead and put these all back together and take a look at it. With the Marvel sign, you might be noticing something is missing. And in my opinion, it seems a little strange to have the original Avengers here. So we have, of course, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Captain America, and Hulk. But of the original Avengers, where is Clint Barton? Where's Hawkeye? Come on. I know maybe they're just trying to make it symmetrical, but we still could have made it work to include him somehow, right? So I feel like if I display it, I would have to add my own in here. This is the Clint Barton or Hawkeye from the Avengers Tower, and it just feels much more complete in here. I know some folks like to add a ton of superheroes onto this, similar to folks that have done this with like the Star Wars logo that came out recently, because that came with no minifigures. But I think it's a huge miss to not have Hawkeye in this set as well, just because he is one of the main Avengers from the MCU here as well. But for my display, he will be there for sure. But as far as display-wise, I feel like you have to have it displayed with the minifigures out and about here. Otherwise, it just seems a little too plain, and I mean, that's kind of the main thing you're building. Otherwise, you could just made this all red brick on the inside or something. So I feel like it's a little strange that if you don't display it like this, just feels like you're kind of wasting it a little bit. Makes me kind of feel bad to hide the minifigures. I mean, I could take them off and just put them in my Lego City or something, but it's how the set is meant to be played with and displayed, I guess. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts there. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Would you display it with the minifigures showing, or would you just display it as the Marvel logo only? But overall, I really enjoyed this set. Like I said, I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I love this kind of set here. I know it's going to stand out in our Lego room. And again, I'm pretty sure I got this on at a nice discount or double points near the end of the year here. So excited we were able to finally pick that up. And I know it's going to look great in our Lego room. But I think that will do it for today. So make sure you leave a like on the way out. Comment down below what you think of the set or about how you would display it there. Subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks so you don't miss the next Lego City update or review that we do here on the channel. And until next time, thanks for coming on by Old Mountain Bricks today. Have a good one.